Should have bought at 60K. Bitcoin at 60K. Oh, I ain't buying that shit. It's incredible. Okay. All right. So that's the local price action on Bitcoin. Again, at the end of the day, long term doesn't change what we're doing with positioning, but this is what you could potentially see on Bitcoin. Again, if we don't get the bear trap, I'm still accumulating right here, and I'm accumulating within the bear trap if it happens. If it doesn't happen, the bear trap, I was already accumulating down here, so I'm not upset that I missed my entry. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Should be Ether. Ah, yes, Ether. So let's take a look at Ethereum. So we're getting a lot of interaction with the mid-range on Ethereum. So this is, again, very locally on Ethereum price action. So we broke down all the way from 4,100, broke all the way down to this little low at 3,000. So we could try to draw this range two different ways on Ethereum. So I had this marked out as a bear trap because we did have a lot of interaction with the mid-range when it's drawn like this, but let's try something. Let's try something different. Rat. Let me just delete it. Because I want to see if we draw this range differently, how it interacts. All right, so we'll start the range right here. So the top would be about 35. Yeah. And then we draw the bottom right here. Yeah, that doesn't look better to me. No. So yeah, the previous range is better. So we'll draw it like this. And so the reason we're drawing it differently is because if you get different price action or different interactions with the lines, then that's the range you want to play off of, right? So if we do something like this, let me get it back down there. Yeah, this one plays better. So yeah, we'll leave it like this.
Put the Elliots on it.
Yeah. Oh, the Elliott waves.
We're in wave 5.
I haven't unlocked that level of TA yet. So, but yeah, we're gonna draw it like this. We're gonna draw it with the bear trap. So similar to what we were talking about on Bitcoin, you could call this right here a bear trap, right? At the beginning of the range. We deviated, we came back to the top, we touched the top, we come back, we're interacting with the mid-range. Okay, we're getting a lot of price action right in this mid-range. And you see this candle tap the mid-range right there. So a couple of things that can happen on Ethereum, okay? You could get another sweep of these lows if Bitcoin does end up doing the bear trap. Okay, or, yeah, the bear trap. So if Bitcoin does the range deviation to the downside, you're probably going to see Ethereum do something like this. All right, come back down and touch the bottom of the range. But eventually, when Bitcoin, of course, breaks out, you're going to see Ethereum break out. Now, here's the other thing that we were talking about with Bitcoin. We said, well, if there's going to be a deviation to the downside, typically you're going to get a deviation to the upside. So eventually what you're going to be able to see on Ethereum, which I would just pay attention to, doesn't necessarily have to change the way that you're investing. But where's it at? You should get a deviation. So let's say you get let's just say you get the bear trap on Bitcoin. Okay, so that means Ethereum is going to come back down here, right? We're going to test the bottom of the range. Bitcoin starts pumping again, right? Boom, boom, maybe reject, come up here. So what you'll see on Ethereum likely happen is get this move right here, break back down into the range before definitively breaking up again. Okay, so why am I saying that? Well, the reason that could happen is because since we got the deviation to the bottom of the range, typically you're going to get the same type of move to the top of the range. So this right here, right, this would be your bull trap. Again, does it necessarily have to play out that way? No, depending on how hard Bitcoin is pumping and where Ethereum is at while Bitcoin is pumping. But if it makes sense in the context of the price action of Bitcoin, you could get this bull trap right here. So you think you got this range breakout like you did on Bitcoin. You break back down into the range before ultimately breaking up higher. Okay. So again, that's local price action. Why do you pay attention to local price action like that? Because you want to get good entries on your assets. So this could show you, okay, I want to be accumulating my meme coins here. I want to be accumulating meme coins at this point right here. I want to be accumulating at the midpoint, the top of the range if I believe it's going to break out. If we break back down into the range, then down here and then up. But basically, you want to accumulate assets around these significant levels because that's typically when price is going to interact. So if you think Ethereum's not going to come back down below out of this range, then this would be the low for Ethereum. Therefore, you want to accumulate your assets at the lowest point possible so that you get the most amount of upside, right? That's why you pay attention to these levels. So, but yeah, you have any thoughts on Ethereum?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty accurate just because ETH and Bitcoin cyclically are in two different spots. So, Bitcoin is probably headed for a bear trap, like you said. If it does happen, then that's going to be the next move. If it doesn't hold here, I mean, it's literally at the bottom of the range already. So if it doesn't hold this level, then it's going to be a bear trap, and we're probably going to see this price action. So ETH and Bitcoin are just in two different spots as far as where they're at in their ranges right now. ETH's chilling around the mid range. Bitcoin's at the bottom of the range, potentially headed for a bear trap. So I think this is exactly right. I mean, if it does pull the bear trap move on Bitcoin, just because by the time it gets back up to the top of this range on Ethereum and you have that bull trap, it's going to have that pullback because Bitcoin's going to be cooling off after its pump. Once it does, go through the bear trap, pump back up through the range, break out a little bit, and then that move back up after this bull trap. I think you have that drawn out towards the end of January, or I guess this is just the hour chart. So
Yeah.
January 10th. When is the inauguration date?
I believe it's January 20th. I know
January 20th.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty accurate because once Bitcoin starts to cool off, I mean, mid-January, around the time of the inauguration, we should see Bitcoin start to cool off a little bit, start to lose dominance, and then give Ethereum the green light here to really start pumping. I mean, that's the narrative and the assumption we've been talking about this entire time. So
Yep.
yeah, I'd say if Bitcoin pulls the bear trap here over the next couple days or over the next week, then this is probably pretty spot on to what we're going to see.
And I'm going to give you guys some quick alpha too. So another chart that we're looking at just to see, all right, where are we at in the cycle? Because overall in the cycle, we're exactly where we're supposed to be at compared to other cycles. So there's nothing that's happening that's different, that's scary, that we weren't expecting, etc. This is exactly where we're supposed to be at in the cycle. And one of the ways that you can tell when there's going to be a cycle top is you look at the BTC Nvidia pair. Okay.
It's your favorite chart.
Yeah, it's a banger. This is a fucking banger right here. So let's put it on the daily. We may even want to put it on let's put it on the weekly. So this chart signifies Bitcoin's performance compared to Nvidia. Okay. So Bitcoin divided by Nvidia means that as this chart goes up, Bitcoin is outperforming Nvidia Corporation. As the chart goes down, Nvidia is outperforming Bitcoin, meaning Nvidia is a better hold than Bitcoin. Okay. So this is a great way to pay attention to where we're at in cycles. So if we do, let's add Bitcoin down below. Okay. So notice how when Bitcoin Nvidia has a blow off top, what happens to Bitcoin down below? Okay. So you get this blow off top right here. Let's line this up. Blow off top on Nvidia BTC. Oh, that's weird. That's the exact cycle top for Bitcoin. Bitcoin Nvidia has a blow off top. Wow. Whoops. That's an exact cycle top on what's it called? BTC. Then you get this other little pump. This was a little bit different because this was the double top in 2021 cycle, but you still see this big pump right here, right? So we could still mark it out. But again, the chart pumped, right? And then where are we at right here? Okay. So on the Nvidia BTC pair, does that look like a blow off top on Bitcoin Nvidia? What do you think, Logan?
Not quite.
Not exactly. Okay. So you would have to be very ballsy to say that, well, okay, this is the cycle top for Bitcoin. We're actually going to break all the way back down and head into a bear market when this chart hasn't pumped at all this cycle yet. Not at all. I mean, even right here, when it had this pump right here, was this local top on Bitcoin. You can't really see it that well because it's not on log. But yeah, if we put it on log, you can see it a little bit easier. So yeah, every time BTC, Nvidia pumps, local top, local top, local top, right? Local top. This is not a fucking pump on BTC Nvidia. Okay, not even close. So it's when you see this blow off top on this chart, we'll see more than likely the top on Bitcoin. So again, it's these sort of charts, this type of alpha, that when you look at this, you say, oh, okay, I'm confident in where I believe the market is going, because history has shown, and history has repeated itself throughout multiple cycles, right? History has shown that until BTC Nvidia makes a local top and pumps, you didn't make a top in the Bitcoin chart. So there's nothing for me to say, oh, wow, I'm no longer bullish on Bitcoin. We're about to go into a bear market. No, everything is showing that we're still going to be moving up much higher on a long enough time frame, which is going to be over the next 3 to 4 months. So again, it's little things like this, the confidence you see with other assets that you trade with and other asset pairs that give you that confidence for the long term. What do you think here? Right? Not a bad chart, huh?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of things you put in Taylor's code about this chart. So yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, I know Nvidia's got a lot more hype around it now than it did in previous cycles, just because of all their, for anyone that just strictly invests in legacy markets, it's kind of one of their only opportunities to get exposure to AI. So I know that there's a lot more hype around Nvidia, so it's been performing a lot better than it has historically, but I still do definitely think it's a good indicator to keep an eye on. And yeah, I mean, if you're going off this chart and what it's done historically, yeah, we're not even, Bitcoin basically hasn't even moved yet.
Right.